All things considered, I mean, we're going to be saying this a lot, I think, but compared to 5th edition options, this looks amazing for Barbarian. It answers those questions that I'm always asking. What is this getting to do out of combat? How is this doing something unique? I think this does paint a very clear picture as to what this Barbarian wants to be doing, which is I am sort of the raid leader that yoinks everything to me and bolsters allies around me.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West. And today we're going to be talking about a new subclass, the new Barbarian Path of the World Tree.
Yeah, within the new context of Barbarians getting some little upgrades, it's a little bit more interesting to me. World Tree, I've read through and I want to be really excited. I have a hard time being really excited about a subclass that's fundamentally about giving out hit points, but we can talk about it as we go through the features.
Oh. Do they let us down with Barbarian again?
Kind of. There's some cool things here. And I will say, I think on average, every class has less features where I'm like, that just doesn't do anything. So that's
good.
Good job, guys. We made it so that features do things. But this still is not the 3rd level feature. I think is the one that I'm just most bummed about. So we start with Vitality of the Tree. So you gain the following benefits at level 3 while you're raging. You get Vitality Surge. So whenever you activate your rage, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to Barbarian level. This feature in particular is really odd to me because old Barbarians in 3rd edition just did this. This was just a thing. Whenever you started raging, you just got temporary hit points. One of the few things I remember about that game.
Right.
So them getting it here as a subclass feature just feels odd, but sure, you get a couple more temp HP, whatever. You also get Life-Giving Force. At the start of each of your turns while you're raging, you can choose another creature within 10 feet to get temporary hit points. To determine the number of temporary hit points, you roll a number of d6s equal to your rage damage bonus and add them together. If any of those hit points remain when the rage ends, they vanish. So this is kind of like giving out 2d6, 3d6 extra temporary hit points every round if things are able to stay close to you. And I think it's going to actually play pretty close to like Interception as a fighting style. It's going to be a little bit easier to use, but it's still, I think, going to be a little clunkier in play than it reads. I have a hunch this thing is not going to be that good.
Well, maybe, but let's take a step back because this is our first deep dive into a new subclass. What is the Path of the World Tree? What is the imagery we're supposed to be seeing here? What's the fantasy?
It's Yggdrasil and the Vikings, right? This is someone that believes in the exact context they give us is they connect with the cosmic tree Yggdrasil, which again is Norse from my understanding. It's the idea that you are connected to all of life and you are part of its roots, and you know it's the glory and combat and joy of battle kind of thing. It says these barbarians draw on the tree's magic, vitality, and dimensional travel. So you're like traveling along its roots and branches as it crosses the different planes of existence.
Okay,
that's so the flavor.
This is a cosmic tree.
Yes, giant cosmic space tree that you get HP from.
Nice.
Sure, cool. I'm here for it. This particular feature, though, coming back to it, if we look, we'll consult the rage damage table real quick. So the rage damage table, it's 2d6 up until 9th level, and you get a +3 to your rage damage. Then it's 3d6, and then at 16th level it goes up to 46. So this does improve twice as the game progresses, once at 9th and once at 16th level, from 2d6 to 3d6 to 46.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of hit points.
10 feet is so short a distance, right? Like, as the Barbarian, if you're the only frontline character in your party, you just can't use this thing, right? Like, if it's you, a bard, and a ranger, are you ever able to use this?
Let's see. Do you have to? What is it? What kind of action does it take?
It's just the start of your turn. As long as you're raging and someone's within 10 feet of you, you give them 10 HP. I'm saying that bar is even kind of high.
Why?
Because Barbarian's job is to sit in the middle of creatures and take damage. Yeah. So usually they're by themselves in the middle of those creatures, or maybe at best alongside a fighter. But battle maps get messy. It's not normally like a tag team duo of fighter and barbarian running in side by side. Normally people are hitting different priority targets. Barbarians trying to hold a group of creatures in one space, and the barbarians elsewhere, the fighters elsewhere, the paladins elsewhere, or whatever. There's like 4 whole classes in the game that you would want to be side by side a lot of the time. There are some subclasses and stuff that do it, but like, again, I think this is a pretty this compares pretty easily to the old interception fighting style from
Yeah.
5th edition. And I don't think that's very good. And I think this is about as good, maybe moderately better because you don't have to use anything to get it. But like, I don't know, man. And it's
I
only
mean,
10
I don't.
HP.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like super impressed with the hit points, but I don't think it's going to be that difficult to give them out. It's I mean, in games I've played, the scene you're painting, the picture you're painting hasn't always been the case. It's like the barbarian's not alone doing things by himself. Like there's at least one other melee character, and they're going to be fighting some things. And like, all right, so if the barbarian wants to use this, you can go, punch this guy in the face and run over to help the fighter. Just,
Yeah, but
whatever.
then the fighter doesn't get the 10 HP because you have to start your turn next to the barbarian,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
So like there are going to be a lot of little windows where this is really awkward. If you do need to go save the fighter's life and you kill the thing you're fighting, you run over to them to help, they don't benefit from this until the start of your next turn.
well, if somebody knows the barbarian's got this option, they can run over toward him where he's fighting.
They can, but now it's on the
You
other
know,
players for your feature to do anything. And how coordinated do you think an average D&D party is going to be in that scenario? I don't have confidence in it. If I'm the barbarian, I don't want to have to be like, fighter, come over near me so you can start your turn near me. They go, no, I have a very clear plan for my turn, and it's making these 3 attacks against this thing.
well then, I mean, yeah, then I don't have a feature, but I'm not gonna, cry myself to sleep because he doesn't want his temporary hit points.
Sure, and this does always give you some more temp HP, right? That is a floor that
Yeah,
this has, but given that it's no utility and the only feature you get from this is hit points,
yeah,
that's pretty bad. Like, even if this did happen every single round, I'd be like, okay, so you give one creature temporary hit points every round, but it's not you, so you're the one trying to take the damage, and you can't get those temporary hit points, so you kind of want someone else to be taking damage, so you want 2 high HP threatening martial characters where this is gonna start feeling like it matters. There are gonna be real times where like you're in there with a monk and you're the threatening creature because you're the barbarian, so the DM's attacking you because that's sort of what your job is supposed to be, and the
yeah,
monk just doesn't take enough damage to knock the temporary hit points off, or isn't hit that turn, and then the feature just still doesn't do anything.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm really skeptical this thing's gonna be good at all. I think it looks quite bad to me.
Yeah, well, I
It,
mean, even at its most exciting, it doesn't look all that impressive.
yeah, like if the ceiling is that low, I'm not
Yeah.
into it. We do get cooler features though. So we get branches of the tree at 6th level. So whenever a creature you can see starts its turn within 30 feet, while your range is active, you can use your reaction to summon spectral branches of the world tree around it. Target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be teleported to an unoccupied space you can see within 5 feet of yourself, or in the nearest unoccupied space you can see. After the target teleports, it can reduce its speed to 0 until the end of the current turn.
Hmm.
There's some neat things about this.
Okay.
There's no limitation to use. You
That
just get
is
to
neat.
do this. That's pretty sweet, right? You just
Yeah.
be like, yoink, you get over here. Yoink, you get over here. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and that can be used on a friend or foe, right?
Yep. A creature.
Yeah.
I this feature looks super, super sweet. I love this. I like that. I think this actually gives you what direction this barbarian wants to be doing, which is like, I want to group everyone next to me. It does kind of play with the vitality of the world tree, right? Because that means everyone you are encouraged to be next to me, because if there's going to be enemies, there are going to be next to me, because I can just pull them over here.
Hmm.
I can, sub-zero them. Get over here with roots for the branches, whatever, for the world tree, which is kind of neat. It does sell a
That
pretty cool fantasy too, I think.
yes, but they have to be within 30 feet of you, which means you could have just walked there.
So yeah, I'm envisioning this more as you're doing this to things that you aren't already wailing on. You want everyone to be clumped together, is where I think this is going, right? So you want to get
Yeah.
in a party that's got 3 skeletons and 2 zombies. You go on the 2 zombies in the front line, then you pull a skeletal archer towards you, and now it's substantially worse with its bow because it's now engaged in melee range, right? Now that's a
Yeah.
very basic example, but I do think there's going to be real encounters where you're not going to have an issue. You're already engaged with some things. One person's running over at our pal or at our cleric or our bard or whatever. You just go, no, you don't. Yoink. That's pretty
or
useful.
or you're fighting two guys, you pull one more guy in. Now they're all within the wizard's fireball range.
Yeah, and you just I got
And
temp HP, I'll
yourself.
tank the hit.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I probably am overselling this a bit. You might be right that it being at the start of your or the start of their turns means you can't like often signal it to like I dash within range of them, then I pull them to me. You can't like set up attacks the same turn. But this I do think is gonna have no problem getting used a lot, and I'm really encouraged by the fact that this doesn't have limitations in use. In editions of old, this definitely would have had a proficiency bonus number of times per long rest or something. Nope, you just get to do this, and that's huge for barbarians. Especially because like you do this out of combat, you can opt to rage out of combat specifically to teleport somebody up to you. That's kind of cool, kind of
Also, I
useful.
mean, like, yeah, I didn't even think about that. If if some big badass is running toward the wizard to attack him with a big axe, and that happens to be within 30 feet of you, not this turn, buddy.
Yep,
Yeah,
all little useful bits, huh? Pretty
yeah,
neat.
definitely.
Pretty neat. Most compelling reason to play this so far, I think. At level 10, we get battering roots.
Of the two reasons, yes.
Yeah, I mean, one is not really a reason to be. Level 10, though, we get another cool feature that's called battering roots. During your turn, your reach is 10 feet greater with any melee attack that is heavy or versatile.
Wow.
15-foot range, sign me up. When you hit a creature with such a weapon on your turn, you can activate the push or topple mastery property in addition to a different mastery property you're using with the weapon. So push knocks things back, topple knocks things pro.
That's got
Pretty
some
good.
potential.
Pretty
and this is
good.
in addition to a different.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I have to refresh my memory on all the weapon properties because there are a bunch of new ones. But I know there's one that like gives you advantage on your next attack roll against it. That's not great with topple because that kind of like you would already get that advantage because
Yeah.
you knock things prone. But you could do things that like give them disadvantage on attack rolls or something to that effect, right? Like give them a disadvantage on their next attack roll and knock them prone and beat them into the ground. Now you are using heavier versatile weapons, so that does limit what your actual like selection of equipment gets to be. You don't get to have like your pick of the litter of every single weapon property I get. Like you can't use daggers with this for the extra bonus
Right.
attack or whatever to then also push things around. But I do think this is a pretty good just passive upgrade. Now it's all combat. It's kind of neat in all combat though. I might learn to hate these features in the future because they're going to lead to very samey kind of combat patterns. I think one of the coolest things about weapon mastery is a reason to switch up your weapons. Now you just go, oh, all my weapons do these same three things. That's all I need them to do. That's awesome. And you just do that over and over again. But I don't know. I think there's potential with this thing.
It's also not rage dependent. That's nice. I mean,
Is it
your
not?
fighting, so I don't see anything about it. I mean, see, I'd rather level 6 branches of the tree. That's dependent on you having your rage active. The level 10, you're actually fighting. When you need your rage active, then but that's not dependent. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I would have rather seen both features not need rage.
Yeah.
Especially given the one's better out of combat. But I don't think barbarians have had a huge problem running out of rages. And I don't think that's going to change this edition. And I also think like they made it so rages you could just maintain as a bonus action, so you can use them out of combat for like advantage on athletics checks and some other cool abilities like the 6th level feature here. Real quickly, I want to touch on some of the two weapon options, the heavy options, because that's what heavy and versatile are the requirements that this thing has, right?
Heavy or versatile.
Right. So topple is one you can get with a you already get topple, right? So this gives you topple or push. So outside of topple or push with versatile, we can get Great Axe gets cleave, so you can hit multiple things in one turn. That's kind of neat. You could get graze with great swords or glaives, so you can get all three of those properties together. Let's see, any Vex in here that we can get? I don't see any Vex, which kind of makes sense given that's like the stabby dexterity based one. So yeah, I think you're gonna most likely see this is gonna work alongside. Oh, you can do sap as well. Sap's one that gives disadvantage with long swords. So using the long sword, you can sap and prone things or sap and push things. Yeah, it looks like cleave, graze, and sap are gonna be the three you use alongside these two. Maybe slow in some niche examples, but
cleave they have to be within 5 feet, right?
Let's see. Cleave says if you hit a creature with a melee attack roll, you can hit a second creature within 5 feet of the first. So if you've got two creatures within 15 feet and they're both within 5 feet of each other, you can cleave them.
That expands your cleavability.
Yeah, your cleavage, one might say. That's a Bob joke. Yeah, I think this feature, it just being combat stats isn't the most riveting to me, but it is cool and empowering combat stats. It is going to be cool with sentinels and stuff like that, right? There's build direction that this empowers in a meaningful way. People love getting bigger range and bigger reach and just This more so than even the second level feature says, I want to be the problem in the middle of the room. No one will be safe from me. I'm just going to pull everyone here and be annoying and not let anyone in the back line and protect my friends and just stab a bunch of people from high ranges and cleave things and topple things. And like, you can definitely have a turn where like you start, pull something near you and drop it prone and be like, stop trying to run away from me. Like, just stay on the ground. That's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Our last feature we get is travel along the tree. So when you activate your rage as a bonus action while your rage is active, you can teleport up to 60 feet to an unoccupied space. Love that. In addition, once per range, you can increase the range of the teleport to 150 feet. When you do so, you can also bring up to 6 willing creatures within 10 feet of you. Each creature teleports to an occupied space of your choice within 10 feet of the destination. Love it. I love it. That's sweet.
I guess it's all right. I mean, you're level 14. How big a deal is it at this point?
You're a martial character. You can bonus action teleport
Yeah.
all over the battlefield. You can get up on people's faces so cheaply. This is a better empowered dash as a floor. Like 150-foot engage tool as a barbarian is genuinely great, right?
Yeah.
On big, especially like as the game gets higher and higher levels, battle maps get bigger and more sprawling. There becomes more problems. This is
Yeah, and
a
there's
huge mobility boost.
If you can't fly and you need to get up onto a platform or something, that can be
Yeah.
a thing. Yeah.
This is also just like, if you get in over your head, which barbarians are known to do, you just, as long as you're raging, have a ticket out of there. That's great. In
Yeah, that's
combat,
true.
this thing looks incredible. Out of combat is still a great upgrade for the party, right? A 150-foot teleport stable to this is like a free dimension door plus. And a free dimension door plus on your every rage you cast is a real thing you'll do. You can pair this with branches of the tree and have a decently high ability to move creatures around while you're raging for 10 minutes, even in out of combat situations. Just blink around, teleport, 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 teleport. You can just go wherever you need to, and all you need to do is spend a rage to do it. That seems
That's
really
true.
cool to me. Undeniably, this is a high mobility capstone, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely high mobility. And I was thinking more for out of combat utility, but no, this is pretty good. And it has that, and
Yeah.
but that's where I wasn't too excited about it because you're gonna have other characters in the party that can do that sort of thing. But yes, high mobility in combat combined with the other features that yeah, that's empowering.
I think one thing we do oftentimes whenever we're reviewing these kinds of content is we take for granted the reality that most parties don't have access to every single spell in the game. And I do think there are going to be a decent amount of parties where this will be the best teleport option that the party has at 14th
Yeah.
level, right? And it's not going to be akin to the spell teleport. And Dimension Door does cost a more expensive resource than this. So I do think this is a really
Yeah,
powerful
that's true too.
teleportation option, right? This is a thing you got 4 or 5 of. Eventually, you can refresh all of them pretty easily. Like you're going to be able to use 2 or 3 of these for the 2 or 3 encounters that you get per long rest, and have a little bit extra to do too with it out of combat. Big fan.
Yeah.
All things considered, I mean, we're going to be saying this a lot, I think, but compared to 5th edition options, this looks amazing for Barbarian. It answers those questions that I'm always asking. What is this getting to do out of combat? How is this doing something unique? I think this does paint a very clear picture as to what this Barbarian wants to be doing, which is I am sort of the raid leader that yoinks everything to me and bolsters allies around me. Now, the 3rd level feature is the biggest hiccup to me. I really wish they switched 3 and 6 or gave you some other bit of compelling thing outside of Vitality of the Tree. Vitality of the Tree is really, really garbage feature to me. Beyond that, though,
Well,
I
I
think there's a
mean,
lot of exciting stuff here.
maybe it gets better after level 14 when you can more easily get to other party members who need a little bit of temporary HP.
I think like the last feature should show you how garbage the 3rd level feature will be at that tier, right? If you need to cross 150-foot gaps to get to monsters, your party's going to be all over the place a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that's not going to often be, I have a buddy within 10 feet of me. This option does do a great job of just being like, I will create a zone, and that zone is my zone. And we will keep things in the zone by pulling them over here, and I will punish things within 15 feet of me with cleaving attacks that are knocking things prone. I think it should be pretty fun to play.
Yeah, I think level 10 is where it really gets to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna give this.
Yeah, well, I mean, level 6. I mean, the branches of the tree. You're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah,
But
I
I
agree.
think you're gonna have fun with that, but you're gonna be itching to get to level 10. I think.
Agreed. This definitely does feel like you get more excited the longer you play this, which is good. Barbarian
That's
needs
true.
that kind
Yeah.
of compelling reason to keep playing it, right? it having kind of a lackluster level ability is always going to make me track points, like a lot of points. Like I don't want to play this until level 6, and even at level 6, just branches of the tree isn't that exciting. It's cool, but you really want battering roots and travel along the tree for this thing to feel super super sweet. I think this thing gets like a solid B for that reason. Maybe even a C, somewhere in that range, where it's like, oh,
Ah,
it's not going to feel great early,
I'm
but later in the game, it's probably a blast.
I'm excited enough for a fun barbarian class that I'm going to give it the B.
Nah.
All right. Yeah, I guess that's our review. Path of the World Tree. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below. What do you think about the new Barbarian subclass? Let us know. Also, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.